So we're going to dive into what it looks like in a fast break setting based on where you are and where the ball is. So our order of operations in a fast break. Rule number one, the ball should attack the middle of the court. So if you get the ball, attack toward the middle. If you don't have the ball, you should expect the ball to attack the middle and you should get out of the way. One of my pet peeves is usually more common with someone younger than your age, but like fifth grade player, they run ahead of the ball on a fast break, but they run right down the middle. And so the ball is directly behind their head and they can't see it. And they end up with like wide receiver football, try to play to catch it and score it without running past the rim. It's really, really difficult to make that play. And so if you're ahead of the ball, rule number two is to run to space, which is not in the middle of the floor. We want to run down the sideline as wide as possible. There's often volleyball lines painted on a regular full court basketball court, and I like to get you running outside the volleyball lines as a minimum. So you have a lot of space. And then because you have a lot of space, you also have a great angle to then attack the rim if the rim is empty, right? And so I call it run to space in less empty rim, which means if there's one defender back, which is very common, and he decides to play out from the basket and stop the ball, then the rim is empty and you should angle in from that sideline, probably near half court by that point. You should angle into the basket. Now you have an angle where you can see the ball behind you and you can see the basket ahead of you and you can catch it and score it a lot easier than if you're running right down the middle with the ball behind your head. And it also gives you, again, the order of operations that you shouldn't run to the rim automatically because ideally you run to space and pull the defense out a little bit, and the ball just keeps the ball in the same player's hands and gets all the way to a layup, right? Simplest offense first means get out of the way, let the ball get a layup. We don't have to throw any passes, right? If you're way ahead of the ball and the rim is empty, then we want you to cut from that space on the sideline toward the rim, and you can catch a pass that's faster than the ball dribbling and then get a layup. So again, the order in which you attack each of these is important. And then rule number three, if you're trailing the ball. So let's say you are a rebounder and you throw a great outlet pass. Now the ball is ahead and it's attacking ahead. Normally, ball handler is going to have a favorite hand. Most of us are right-handed, so they're going to drift toward their favorite hand with defense in front of them. They're going to start shielding the ball away from the defense. They're going to drift off to the right side of center, even if they're attacking roughly in the middle of the court. Therefore, ball is off center being stopped by a defender. Rim is empty again. Run to rim is our first priority. And this is one where, as a big guy, as a player that gets a lot of rebounds, you can get 10 or 12 points a game by just doing this. Every time you throw the ball ahead, you sprint to the rim, and assuming the ball has not already attacked the rim itself, which would change your mind, you want to run to the rim because when the ball gets stopped by the defense is like taking a breath. Whew, we stopped the layup, we stopped the fast break. Now where's my man? And while that chaos is going on, I like to call it scramble. While the defense is in scramble, you're running right through the middle of them to the rim, and either they're all going to panic and guard you and leave somebody else open, or they're all going to be working at finding their man and matching up, and you run and get a layup all the time. Works really, really well. And then the counter move here is when the ball does attack the rim, which if your team is playing with the same mindset as we're talking about, they would have already tried to attack the basket, which means now you're a trailer running down the middle and you get to stop at the 3-point line and be a trailing shooter because the ball has driven and sucked all the defense down to the basket. There's nobody left at the perimeter. And when you arrive, you usually get a nice rhythm jump shot wide open at the 3-point line. So let's see what this looks like on film. We've got the rim empty version here first. We're attacking. The wing is running ahead down the sideline and then angling in toward the basket. Then we have running to space in the corner, basically a drive and kick play. Ball attacks middle. If there's a defender at the basket, we're kicking it to the corner shooter. Then we have a back cut as a counter move. If we're both guarded, there's two defenders back, we can actually dribble at that corner shooter that ran ahead of us and get them to back cut down the baseline. And this takes some coordination, takes some patience if you're that player head, not to cut too soon. Wait for that defender's head to turn is what we like to talk about. We'll get to that later. Then if you're the trailer, coming up the middle, ball moves off to the right, you're going to run left side of rim and crash right to the backboard. Trying to catch and score, again, putting pressure on the rim because the defense thought they had us stopped. Same play again here, a little bit different angle. Ball handler stays out, trailer runs into the rim. And we do it opposite wherever the ball went. So these guys are getting out a little bit wide, but if the ball goes left side of the floor, the trailer should run right side of rim, just creating opposite space. And then again, as the trailer, if the ball attacks the rim and pulls defense in the paint, being able to step right into catch and shoot shot as you're trailing the play down the floor could be really, really effective. If you watch NBA teams, they do this a lot. It's a secondary break. The defense is in scramble, and the big guy that can shoot steps down right into a wide open shot. Really, really effective. If you can shoot it and you're a big guy, you can get a lot of points with this and crashing the rim. Again, that order in which you think about this is the important part, what we're going to spend most of our time on the court working on.